Well, guess what? We're now joined by one of the lead cast members, actress Masasa Mbangeni, who joins us in studio. Very good morning to you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
South Africans have been raving about this thriller since the trailer came to light. A lot of excitement. What went through your mind? I know you took a bit of a break from the screen doing other things, but when you got that script and you started preparing, what went through your mind?
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be talking about this work because it really is a passion project that has brought such incredible joy into my life. And I guess for me, what went through my mind when I initially got the script and went through the process and finally heard that I'd been given the part was just another opportunity as an actor to remember why I got into acting. I often tell my students that if you forget your why, then leave the business and go and find your why again. And I think for me, Heart of the Hunter, the process, the cast, the crew, was a remembering of why I love acting, working in collaboration with incredible talents like Mandla Dube, like Bonko Khoza, like Connie Ferguson, and knowing that my little part is also contributing to this incredible story. So yeah, it was joy. It was joy. It was remembering my why.
You talk about students. I assume that that's what you were doing with your time off screen. Talk to us about that. What were you actually up to?
I love teaching. I love contributing to society in a way that is meaningful for me, and teaching has been that opportunity to be able to guide young people, to see a student figure out the heart of a story, the heart of a monologue. That brings me so much joy. So that's what I've been doing, amongst other things, amongst living life. I think it's important as actors that we fill our life archive with stories so that we can pour into the stories that we tell. So my lived experience, to a certain extent, informed the experience of Umalime on Heart of the Hunter.
You talk about Connie Ferguson, I know Bonko Khoza, Theron, some of the other stars, including yourself, that you worked with. What was that like?
It was such a beautiful exercise in collaboration because when you hear names like that, you can obviously think, oh, it might have been an ego salad, an ego fest. But because we were led so deftly by Mandla, who led with such courage and a spirit of collaboration, it invited all of us to also follow suit. So we all had an incredible joy to work together, to learn from each other, to play. I think the big theme of the story was actors at play, with a childlike curiosity of discovering the truth of the story. So I hope people get to see these incredible talents at play.
These incredible talents, I know you play the character of Miriam, which is the character in Deon Meyer's novel, but you're now Maleme Mambi in the film.
Correct.
In the face of the thriller, the political turmoil, the apartheid and all of that, it's a beautiful love story.
It's a stunning love story. And I love that because Bonko, Mandla and I were quite intentional about telling this beautiful black love story that in the midst of all the turmoil and the trauma and the violence and the thriller and the excitement and the action that is in the film and in the book, it's even in the book actually, Deon's written the story of these two people in a chance meeting who fell in love and created this little family, this little world for themselves, and how these destabilizing forces potentially unnerve and unsettle that. So at the heart of it, it's a celebration of black love, our joy, our desire, our happiness, love for a father for his son, love for a mother for her son, love for two people who care and will do anything for each other. So yeah, I'm glad that you picked up on that love story because we were very intentional in imbuing that in the story.
I mean, you make mention of what's in the novel and the TV adaptation. Is it much of the same sort of format? Having read the book, are people going to be like, oh man, this wasn't in the film?
I'm so glad you asked that because that is the nature of adaptations, right? And I think as Deon Meyer fans, I mean, I became a Deon Meyer fan because of the projects of his that I've worked on recently. But as fans, we really need to give creatives that creative license to reinterpret or reimagine a story. And thank goodness Deon was gracious enough to allow us as actors and allow the people that he co-wrote the script with to explore or reimagine the story. But the heart of the story is still the Heart of the Hunter. So it's still that fast-paced crime thriller that we know Deon Meyer is famous for all over the world. but it's reimagined. It's explored in a different way. So that's why it's an adaptation.
Yeah.
And we mustn't be too hard on the creators that have adapted it, because it's still the same story, just reimagined. So yeah.
We're seeing more and more of this genre coming in the South African space. How does that set us against the international stage? I know you've done some work internationally, but where does it place us as a country with this exciting genre, excellent star-studded films?
Yeah. You know, I think we place too much emphasis on international being the metric of success. And I think stories like this, and particularly shooting this way, is showing us that we have the capability with the right support. So shout out to Netflix for creating this platform to be able to support authentically South African stories that we're telling on our terms, without looking at, what are these people doing? I think that's the success of Nollywood, right? Is that they weren't waiting for an external locus of validation to say you're doing good. And a Netflix film, and a Nollywood film, I beg your pardon, you'll see a jump cut because it's part of the story that they've decided to do. So the reason why I'm excited about the sort of stories we're telling is because they're authentically South African, by South Africans, for South Africans to the rest of the world. And knowing that 190 countries, over 190 countries are going to see this work, makes me very proud, because we're not apologizing for being South African. We're not asking you to go, are we good enough? We're saying this is us. Enjoy. So I'm hoping that everyone in those 190 territories are going to enjoy the work we've done.
This was also a bit of a reminder of South Africa's past and the experiences, and some level of appreciation for the country we've become today. In going through all of that and the preparation process, what stood out for you about not only the beauty of the country, but how far South Africa's come as a country?
Yeah, we're a miracle, aren't we? And I think I'm so glad that we have texts such as Heart of the Hunter to remind us of our historical, socio-economic, political past, and how in the midst of all of that there was still love. Black people were still falling in love. They were making babies. They were living. They were making plans. And the fact that we still have texts like that to remind us of where we come from, it also allows us to reimagine a different future, which we have reimagined for ourselves as a country. So, as an actor, it was good to be a part of a show that reminds us of where we come from, but also reminds us that we've overcome. We're an absolute miracle story. We really are. We feel it every time the box are playing. And we get all emotional. So I hope that this will conjure up the same feelings.
Yeah, we'll see what happens on the 29th of May when we vote. But I know, South Africans are just waiting to see this exciting thriller. But you have taken a bit of a break, and you spoke about your students and the magic and the art of transferring your experience to these young people. What else are you working on?
Well, the nature of NDAs is that I can't really say, but I think I feel incredible gratitude, if I'm being honest with you, because very often as an artist you think, if I'm not at the opening of an envelope, are people going to remember me? And the nature of art is that it lives beyond you, as long as there's always truth in it. And I think the reason why I've been so overwhelmed by this avalanche of love from people who've enjoyed the work that I've been in is because of the truth that guides my work. And I hope in anything, people can always be excited to see the truth. And they're going to see real, intense, beautiful truth in Heart of the Hunter. I promise you.
Okay, for those who are like, okay, maybe I'll watch it. Why would you convince them to watch it?
Bonko Khoza topless.
Ooh.
But on a serious note, it's a celebration of incredible South African talent. Mandla Dube is one of the most phenomenal directors we have, an auteur in South African cinema, in African cinema, you know, and you want to be at the when that movement is happening, you want to be at the beginning of it. So I'm inviting everyone to perhaps join us at the beginning of this incredible movement of reimagining South African cinema, and through Heart of the Hunter, that's happening for sure.
Sounds exciting. Thank you so much for coming to studio and talking to us there about this exciting film, Heart of the Hunter, of course adapted from Deon Meyer's novel. The lead cast member, actress Masasa Mbangeni, telling us there about what to expect. One certainly not to miss. Thank you so much for coming in studio.